Hey guys, Anthony 4x4 Diesel. This is the diagnostic part of the inspection on Andrew's vehicle. 2008 120 Prado, 417,809 on the clock. We're just about to fire it up. It had a new engine at 250 odd thousand k's, new long motor which comes with new injectors. Don't leave your injectors in too long or that's what can happen. Yeah, most of you're probably going to get lucky, but not always. Let's fire it up and then we will have a look at the readings, and it's a good comparison to the last one. If you compare to David's diagnostic, it's done 149,000 k's over about 11 or 12 years, original injectors. They sounded quite bad, the readings were bad. I'm tipping this is going to be pretty good. We're going to be surprised. Well, you might be, but I'm not. Okay, I'm just going to reverse it up a little bit. So we don't get dieseled out too much. A bit more maybe. Okay. Load reading. Remembering the coolant temp has dropped down again, similar to the other one, 64 degrees, so we're going to warm it up in a minute, but let's just have a quick look through at some other readings like the individual feedback readings, which we've said are not the end of the world. They're not the absolute most important readings, but again, straight away you can see the injection volume around the 10 or 11, and we've said before new injectors are around about 6. Again, the 5-speed auto in the 120 1kd. The individual feedbacks are looking better than the older vehicle with less Ks. Let's look at the main injection period. How much is it jumping around? Is it jumping down to 5 and up to 8? It's going to be up a little bit because the engine's not fully warmed up yet, but notice it's a lot more stable around the, let's say 7 to sort of mid 8s generally, right? So a lot more stable. While we're waiting for it to warm up, let's just have a quick look at the fuel pressure as well. We'll have to have a look if this has got the long or short suction control valve in it. May have had a pump with those engine works. This is more like what the fuel pressure should look like. The target hasn't settled yet, but you can see it just dropped to 29, so could have the old short suction control valve in it. Let's get it warmed up to operating temp and then we'll have a better look at the readings. Okay, so we've got it up to operating temperature. It's going to sit around that 82, 83 mark. You can see the engine speed settled to around the 700 RPM. Coolant, 83. Let's take a look. What's the most important reading? The load. Now, remember in the last video, if I remember correctly, you'll remember me saying, well, the load was about 20%, and I said that normal on these is about 12, 11, 12 on the autos. Remember the manual's about 3 less, thereabouts, maybe around the 9 or 8, somewhere around there. But 12's good, 13's okay, 14's alright too, 15 start saving, 16's time for replacement. So we're right on the money there. You can see that right there, 16%. Didn't I say you might be surprised that these injectors are in better condition? And that's why we put a use by date on them as well as the kilometres. It's not just about kilometres. So this one, 2015 the engine was done, it's 2021, so close as possible to 6 years, 165,000 Ks, so pretty well on the money, but they're not bad. It doesn't mean you can't get a bit more out of them, but it's how long's a piece of string? How much damage do you want to do to your piston before you change them, you know what I mean? And this one, the good thing about this vehicle, it's got a new engine. It's like, it's only done 165,000 Ks on the heart of the beast, so you just want to look after them while you've got a good one. So let's move down to the other readings again and see what's happened now that the engine's warmed up. And again, you'll see that they're pretty well in line with everything else. And this is full evidence why, examples why, I totally stuffed that up, but look, examples of why I say that the load is one of the most important readings, because See the consistency, the load's lower, therefore the injection volume's lower. The feedback values, they're kind of in check, and the main injection period is closer to what it should be. It's not perfect. You get me? This is right on the edge of, it's just due for replacement. It's not, oh no, don't, you know, they get worse. Don't drive it. Change your injectors. It's doing damage, you know. This is okay, they're just due. Look at that. Injection volume, see? Around 9, either side of 9, which is not bad, but it's not normal either. It's around about, by that reading, that's not a reason to replace the injectors alone. But when you couple that up with the load reading and the main injection period. So let's have a quick look at the feedback 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 4, now that it's warm, is even 3.1, so it is out of spec, right? But even if that was okay, it's time, even if they all said 0, it just means it's even, right? It's still time to replace the injectors based on the load, the injection volume, and the main injection period at the bottom there, right? Should be around the 550 to 600. You can see it's jumping up, high 7s, probably 8s, there you go. But not as bad as the last one. So I hope you watched the last one. That was called probably David's Diagnostic. This one will be called Andrew's Diagnostic. These videos are all part of a inspection thing we're doing now, where we don't actually work on the vehicle. It's for a lot of people that are doing their own vehicles. They want to get the vehicle in once a year or before a trip. In this case, it's a pre-trip inspection, and I haven't owned the vehicle long type inspection. Check out the vehicle, make sure it's on the right track, take note of what repairs need to be done, and you get the videos obviously so you can refer back to, see with your own eyes what needs to be done and why. So if you're interested in that, shoot us a text message with you need to be around Melbourne, probably on the north or the west. We're about 20-25 k's northwest of Melbourne. Obviously you don't want to be coming from hundreds of kilometres away. You can if you like. Shoot us a text message 0490 261 013. Please include your name, full name. I've got lots of Andrews and Davids. We need the last name as well, please. Vehicle details, what year it is, how many k's, a little bit of history, but please keep it short, how long you've owned it, sort of thing. What if this, you know, inspection suits you, that if that's what you want to book in for. Cost wise, anything from about $250 to $330. You get at least a video, maybe 2 like this, so you can refer back to it later. Okay guys, I think that's about it. Let's just have a quick look at these readings again. Let's go down to the timing briefly and sort of talk about and have a look at that. If you compare to the other one, if you remember, Pilot 1 was up around the 21 plus, if I remember correctly, should be around the 20, 18 to 22. So this one's better than the last one. These readings certainly not a big drama. Do we look at the fuel pressure now that it's warm? So look at that. I see 29, 34, 30, 28. I saw 28. We're looking for a high number now. So it seems to be dropping more below and not so many overs. Sometimes you see them go up 39, 40 or more. Specification on the fuel pressure by, you know, the manufacturer is anything from 30 to 40 is okay, but they give you that window. My window is based on what's normal, and this isn't normal. It's probably got the short SCV, and people do report back. People that replace the SCV after the injectors, they report back saying that it's a bit quieter or less smoke or more responsive or better fuel economy. So subtle differences, something I recommend doing separate and after the injectors. Let's go back to the up a bit again. Feedback values, not much changing. I don't think it's going to change. You can see number 4 here is the one that's sometimes out or close to spec. As I said in other videos, doesn't mean number 1's okay and you just change the others. They're all worn evenly. Let's go back up. Fuel volume injection, not too bad. Let's go back to the top and see what that load reading is, and we'll finish up. I think 17, 18, so it's a bit higher than the 16, so it's gone up a little bit. Make sure you got all your accessories and aircon switched off, because you'll get a false reading. I'll show you what happens if you have the aircon on. So we just turned the aircon on, the load of the compressor, when it cut in, it went up to around 30, and you can see it constantly on about 25, 23. You're going to get the wrong readings, and then if you go to the fuel volume, you're going to get higher amounts of fuel to run the engine. There you go, 13s, 14s. So if we want to trick you that you need injectors, we just put your aircon on, right? No, we don't do that, guys. Anyway, hope you're learning something out of this. Please give us a thumbs up if you got something out of it, and don't forget to subscribe and turn that bell on so you get the notifications so you don't miss the next important video. In our playlist, we've got one there called Diagnostics. This one will go into there, and you can see all the diagnostic videos and really understand what all these numbers need to be. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.